What's good, people? I'm back with another video, and this one's the start of a two-part mini-series on how to achieve your goals. Now, first off, what position am I in to be talking about this? Good question. I am, after all, striving to achieve my goals, just as many of you are, but I have set and accomplished goals in the past. This year, this series, wasn't the start of my journey. Watch the first video in this playlist if you want to find out more about that. But today I want to give you a few tips that I've acquired from the years on where to start and how to set your goals. The aim is to help you formalize your goals, and next episode I'm going to help you put a structure in place to achieve them. Let's get started. When you have something that you want to achieve, the thought of it can be quite overwhelming. But if you're in that position, you're already ahead of a lot of people. You have direction. I'm lucky. I've never been at a point in my life where I didn't have something that I wanted to achieve and that I was willing to work for. And that's so much of the battle, knowing what you want and getting to the point where you say, right, how can I start? Well, here's what I found as a good starting process. Step 1, know what you want to achieve. Step 2, if that is multiple things, split them up and write each down. Aside from helping you not to forget about them, writing them down allows you to see everything in one place, identify where they overlap, if at all, and intelligently create a plan of attack. Step 3 is to visualize yourself achieving them over and over again. Keep doing this all throughout your journey. Attach them to positive feelings, the sense of achievement, happiness, the accomplishment that you'll feel when you get to your goal. When you deeply associate these things to your goals, your motivation to achieve them will be so much higher when you need it to be. Because if you stop, you wouldn't just be giving up on your goal, you'd be giving up on these feelings too. Step 4, assess your current level. If you skip this out and end up achieving what you set out to achieve, you may not remember just how far you've come and in what time frame. So get a piece of paper, write the date and measure where you are right now. Do this periodically as you progress too. If your goal is to lose weight, write down your weight and all your body measurements. Stats never lie. Sometimes even if you can't feel or see a difference in yourself, you've changed more than you know. Step 5, give yourself a deadline. Now this is a bit of a contentious point because you've got to be careful here. The important consideration is that you want to make it achievable but in a healthy way. Deadlines apply pressure, which can have two effects. It can motivate you to keep training consistently and efficiently because you have to achieve your goal in that space of time, but it can also overwhelm you if the task becomes too much to handle or if you fall behind. That's why it's so important to take time to think this step through. It's much better to be a bit pessimistic here and then outperform your expectations. More on this in a bit. Step 6, tell people what your goals are and talk about them with the passion you've associated with that achievement. This is such an important step in pursuing your goals because without it, if you quit, only you know that you've quit. If you tell people what you're aiming for, you bear the weight of that expectation with you as well. Don't think of this as a bad thing. The extra pressure and support will help you carry on through the hardest times you're going to face. And finally, put a structure in place to achieve them. Now you're committed, there's no turning back. Break your goals down and make a plan to tackle them piece by piece. This is what I'll be talking about in part 2 next week. Okay, so you know in a broad sense what you want to achieve. How do you define exactly what your goal should be? You'll be facing questions like, is this goal realistic? Is my deadline too soon to achieve this? What if something unexpected happens along the way that I can't control? These are all really good questions, but always remember that no matter how close you get by the end of it, you've made progress. You're closer than you were when you started, and that is something to be proud of. My advice for knowing what specific goal to set and by when is to calculate the rate of progress you'd need over the time frame to achieve it. For example, my military press goal for this year is going from 50 kilos to 70 kilos for 5 sets of 5. I started this journey with 39 weeks to achieve my goals, which means I'd have to progress by half a kilo a week to achieve that. That's a reasonable target, but it came from a process of trial and improvement. I started out thinking that 80 kilos should be my goal, for no reason other than it'd be nice. But once I calculated the rate of improvement, I thought 70 kg was more realistic and wouldn't cause my form to slip or for me to risk an injury to get there. If weight loss is your goal, don't try and lose more than about a kilo a week, because it's neither healthy nor sustainable. If you have a fixed weight in your mind that you want to lose, extend the deadline to give yourself a healthy rate of weight loss. As long as you find something that's difficult but achievable, as I say, in a healthy way, you can set whatever goals you want. Also, know what's possible. If I'd have targeted a 100 kg weighted pull-up without doing my research, I'd have been sorely disappointed when I found out that was more than the current world record. Just like if I wanted to run 100 meters in sub 9 seconds by the end of the year. So just be mindful of human limitations. Most things are possible, but not all. So, to summarize, knowing what goals to set, writing them down and telling people about them is half the battle won, because at that stage you've achieved the most important thing, motivation to start. Make sure you assess your progress and think about the feeling of achieving your goals regularly throughout. Give yourself a deadline which allows you to progress in a healthy and sustainable way. And finally, subscribe for the next episode to see how you can make a structure with which to achieve your goals. That's all for this week, but be sure to check back in a week's time for part 2, which explains the importance of limiting factors in making a plan of action. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to give it a thumbs up below, and whether you agree, disagree, or just want to discuss it, I would love to hear your comments in the space below. Till next time, folks, peace.